Hi.
It's been a long time.
I was going to go with the same energy. Hi guys, hi everybody. How is everybody in the city of Abuja? I hope you're enjoying the best of your day. I hope everything is good.
That's not how I talk. That's not how it's not that fast. But anyways, it's good to know that you're back here. And it's just for a short while, guys. So we might as well milk the opportunity as much as that we can. How are you doing?
I'm good.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
What's with this, Senator? You came with the Abuja vibe. Full force.
Senator stuff.
It's good to be back here with you, and you know that whenever Bright Young is always in the studio, it's always going to be an amazing time and would have very worthwhile conversations. But today, let me reintroduce him, because when you see people go away like that, they're doing a lot of restructuring with their personalities, with their brand, and with everything. Now, Bright Young is also doing some level of restructuring. He is a people and a relationship professional and the team lead of the Impulse Nation. Did I get that right? Yeah. He's the team lead of the Impulse Nation. So in no distant time, trust me, you'd be hearing that name scattered around the place. So yes, you heard him from here first. So yesterday's conversation, like I said, will be strategies for managing pressure. See, there's a lot of pressure everywhere. Everywhere. Pressure to do the right thing, pressure to do the wrong thing, pressure to survive, pressure to be good at what you do. Everywhere and at every stage of your life, you would experience some level of pressure. Some of you even go as far as telling your employers that you can work under pressure. I don't know why you do that, but whatever your reasons are, I'm sure that you can justify them. But we'll be teaching you how to manage pressure, strategies for managing pressure. You cannot eliminate it from your daily life. No, not at all. It's a daily struggle, right? You cannot eliminate it from growth even. What you can do is learn to manage it and understand when you find yourself under some level of pressure. That's right. And that's why we have Brian Young here, because he will be teaching us all that we need to know about managing pressure. I too will be just here observing and learning as much as possible.
Oh my God.
You want to give them an intro?
Oh well, I it's a great time, and I believe that everyone listening has been having a great time, and we've all been under pressure one way or another. So I'll start by saying that it's beautiful to be in this beautiful studio. I mean, this is my first time.
First time.
The studio is awesome. It's really beautiful, and I love the outfits. The features are great. We've all been under pressure, and I'd like to share it really from experience, because sometimes they say experience happens to be one of the best teachers in this case. So I'll be sharing from experience, and not like it's something that is workable. However, like I was saying some time back, I've learned how to tell people that I'll share, but you may not have to take everything I'm saying. Yes, because sometimes it works for me, sometimes it may not work for you immediately.
Personal
at the end of the day, just take what you can and let the other ones go. But then, pressure, I see that pressure is a good thing. I've come to understand that pressure is a good thing, in the sense that when you look at pressure as what it really is, it's more of a push. A push that you didn't plan for. A push that is necessary to come. Sometimes pressure comes to move you into where you really needed to have been. Sometimes it is to move you out of where you have always been. So most times, for people who want to leave their comfort zone, what you need is pressure. You need some external pressure, some way or another. Pressure would move you in or out of a space that you have really been overdue in, or you have necessarily needed to be there. And I feel that one of the things that we need to do is to understand things. Some time ago, I talked about, I think it was in this same studio we were talking, and I said that perception. One of the problems people have is poor perception. Yes, most times your situation or the situation is not as big as you look at it. It depends on how you are, seeing it. And if your perception is wrong, like I would say, your conclusions will be wrong. Sometimes when you look at people and you feel that this person does not really like me, it's about how you see the person. And
it's not about how the person even
not
sees
really
you.
About how the person sees you. I used to have a friend that we were in school back then, and most of the times we just get to see each other because we have a mutual friend. So we've come visit this person. Once this person is coming to see this other person, the other person walks away, and then I walk away or she walks away, as the case may be. And one day we just bumped on each other and then decided to have a conversation. Said, "Why don't you like me?" And this person said, "I thought you don't like me." This one says, "I thought you don't like me." So what was wrong with us then was that it wasn't that we didn't like each other. Yeah. It was that we were having the wrong perception of
about
each other. Yeah. Now, how this person sees me and how I see that person. Now, it is one of the cases that one of the issues that makes people not to really manage what's happening to them, how they see it. You may look at yourself and say how you see yourself. If how you see yourself is wrong, it will affect how other people see you. Yeah. If how you see the situation is wrong, it will affect how you deal with it. Yeah. If how you see the trouble is wrong, it would also affect how you're dealing with the trouble. So a lot of times, one first thing to do is to really define things correctly. Yeah, we must learn how to sit down and tell ourselves the truth about what things really are. Away from sentiment, sometimes it's okay to call people and see from their own eyes, because people you're already under, I'm talking about this now because I'm talking about pressure. Yeah. You're already under a level of pressure. It will affect your sight, it will affect your perception, it will affect your assumption. Sometimes people get into the point where they're assuming so many things, and these things are not really what they are. They're just happenings that have to happen. You remember when I was talking about happenings that have to happen. They have to happen. So if you're not careful, you'll be in a situation where nothing really bad is happening. It's just how you interpret what has been happening to you. So one first thing to do is to address your perception. Yes. And
I quite agree with that, because most times the things that we call pressure is not really even pressurized. Let me give you an instance. There was a certain time this lady was walking into like a very big hall, and then she goes, everybody's just looking at me in a certain kind of way. Why are they looking at me like that? What did I do? They have gossiped me. They've talked about me and everything. And then the guy says, this lady has been like that for the longest that he can remember. Beautiful lady, but always has, again, perception about people who are talking about me, all this wrong perception. So you know what he did? He went back and he spoke to everyone that was on the line. You know that? Did you see this girl? They kept talking to this, and surprisingly, only a few people noticed that she walked by. The most explanation that guy got was like, "Oh yes, I think I saw her move like this. I'm not sure."
They were not so
people
much,
were not even paying attention to you, but you already have that perception that everybody's looking at me, and this is it. It's because you get that. So most times we pressurize ourselves. The pressure can come from within. Yes. It can come from without as well. But it can come from within. And trust me, most times the pressure comes from within.
It's in your head.
It's just in your head most times. Yeah. So yes, this is pretty much the conversation we will be having today on Real Talk. And trust me, it's an amazing, amazing one. Keep it locked in here. It's Martha and Bright Young. And we'll be right back.
Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, here to stay.
Hey Abuja, are you ready? Introducing IVR Arcade and Bowling, your ultimate destination for non-stop fun and excitement like never before. Are you planning a birthday party or group event? Look no further. Bring your family and friends to IVR Arcade and Bowling, your ultimate destination for non-stop fun and excitement like never before. We've got unlimited virtual reality and arcade games, car simulator, air hockey, PlayStation 5 on a big screen, archery. Also, perfect your aim in our cutting-edge bowling alley and more. Kids can have a blast in our soft playground too. Yay! And don't forget to treat yourself to delicious snacks and drinks while you play. At IVR Arcade and Bowling, we specialize in creating memorable experiences. For reservations, call 0901-003-5935 or visit Cookies Mall, 2nd floor at Nitel Junction, Ademola Adetukumbo Crescent, Wuse 2, FCT Abuja. IVR Arcade and Bowling, where fun and magic never ends.
The good tunes just don't stop.
The good tunes just don't stop. Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja.
All right, welcome back. Oh God, I feel like I should change all right, right, Martha? Anyways, it's 12:30 and it's still the nation's capital. Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, your radio experience you can count on. And trust me, I have been hanging out with
Bright Young, and this is the Real Talk Show.
Yes, and I'm putting some respect to Bright's name because I told you some restructuring is doing so that he will not say he doesn't know me. So Bright Young is a people relationship and professional and the team lead of Impulse Nation. Yes. Good to have you seated here.
By the way, did I bring some greetings from Impulse Nation? Impulse Nation is a community that impacts a lot of people. We are so concerned about community service and people development. Yes.
Oh, all right. So yes, we're talking about strategies for managing pressure. So give us some strategies for managing pressure.
One of the first strategy, like I said, is proper definition of what is happening, proper definition of why it's happening, and basically proper definition, because if you have a good definition, then you would be able to deal with things from an unbiased position.
So you said proper definition of what is happening?
Yes, and why it is happening. Yes. Sometimes I see pressure as, I said I was going to share my own experience, right? I see pressure as a feedback system. Because pressure comes to tell you what is happening, why it is happening, what could have been done, or what is being done.
Yeah.
Now, if, for instance, where you hear a statement that says, if your strength is small, you would be overcome by adversity. So, adversity comes to reveal the level of your strength. So, if how do they put that? How exactly is this said, sir?
If your strength is small, you will fail on the day of adversity.
All right, great. Now, this means that I would not know the level of my strength in a particular thing until adversity shows up.
Yeah.
Now, there is the adversity of ignorance that shows that you have low knowledge. There is the adversity of insufficient funds that shows that you do not have enough resources for certain things. There is the adversity of wrong association planning and all of that shows also that there is deficiency in areas. Now, when you notice that the strength, whatever it takes for you to get these things done, is not enough or is not there, then of course the adversity will definitely be more permanent or more, stronger. Now, in this case, what do? You begin to realize that there is a pressure. It's a pressure to do more, a pressure to be more, a pressure to have more, a pressure to gain more. And these are what I call feedback mechanisms. Now, here's the definition, because when you look at pressure, you look at it from a place of what is it asking me to do? What does it need me to do? What do I need to do with this? If you don't have a good definition of it, perception now,
or interpretation
of it, because perception will give you right interpretation. Now, if there is no right perception, then there will be wrong interpretation, and of course wrong conclusion. So you may be fighting something that is coming to actually build you. Because I heard and I understand that these things come to build your faith. And what is your faith in that sense? It means that there's something that you're hoping for, there's something you want to do, there's something you want to achieve. But then what comes to test if you are ready for this is the storm.
Well, the storm. Anyways, and I think I'll share in that sentiment that the interpretation determines what you do with that pressure. Because sometimes when we're seeing, I like to use examples because it's a more practical way to teach or explain something. Say, for instance, you go on Instagram now, and then you see a Birkin bag. We know it's cost a fortune, Birkin bag, and then I see the likes of Imo Abudu. By the way, she's a media mogul. She's a giant in that area, and I see Imo Abudu with that Birkin bag, and she's in her 50s, right? And I probably am in my 30s, in my 20s, and I see such a person with that bag. Two different people will interpret this in two different ways. The first person will be like, that's what is raining, so I'm going to do whatever it is I can to get it. Now there's the second person that says, when I am 50 or when I become in this age grade, I hope I've been able to achieve things like this so that I can make, I can afford things like this.
So one person is inspired, the other person is intimidated in this.
Pressured.
Yes.
And who gave you that pressure? You. She didn't come to ask you to buy that bag.
Yes.
She didn't tell you you must have that bag to be a human being.
And about when she was your age, she didn't have.
She didn't have the bag.
Yeah.
You see. So any pressure the second person is feeling is from within.
Within, yes.
It's not from without. And then someone else can come on the internet and say, you should minimize the way you're posting these things. You would contaminate the minds of young girls. It's young girls who do not want to work that will be contaminated by such a content.
Yes. Yes.
Young girls who are willing to work will be inspired by
Yes,
that
do more with
content.
that.
So I worked for it, so I should have the liberty to flaunt it whenever I want.
Yes.
But what you do with that information depends on you. It cannot depend on me.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful. So let's hit the first strategy. Now, when I was talking about interpretation and all that, it's more like an introduction to what you should be. Now, the first strategy to overcoming or managing pressure is look inwards.
yeah.
Yes, like you said, you look internally in this case. Look
Internally.
inwards. Now, when you're looking inwards, what you're doing is you're doing an introspective look
Yeah.
at yourself. You're considering what you have contributed to have this. Are you doing something that you should have done before, or you're doing something that you should be doing later in the now moment? Because sometimes what pressure does is that it reveals certain things that are either done rightly or wrongly. Now, if I am learning how to drive a car, and I've been driving in the bushes, of course, it's
When I get
good,
to the
you know.
road.
Yes, it's a different experience when you're driving in the woods and people are just giving you navigation signs. Go this way, go that way. It's easier to drive, and you can say, I'm now a certified driver, because the point is move the car.
Yeah.
And when you get into those places, in the neighborhoods, you're just moving the car. But here is the thing: when you move out of that space and you're coming into a main road, an express, nobody's going to be asking you if you're still learning, especially where you have no notice, sign that I'm learning. Now, it's like life. When you come up from a particular place, maybe it has been an enclosure where you're just trying to drive, you're navigating, you're coming out, you can listen to music, and then when you moved out of that simple space, a place of isolation, a place of personal training, and then you're now in the professional line of field now, where people have to demand from you, you would realize that nobody wants to care. Now you're careful with a dog that has to, a stray dog that just runs into the street. You didn't see that when you were learning in the bush or in the woods. Those are some of the things that you need to look at introspectively. Now I'm learning how to drive, but this is coming out. Does it mean that they don't want me to learn? They don't want me to drive professionally? No. It's that these are one of the things that you're going to encounter because you're now out in a professional space. I'm talking about the main road. I hope my examples are well cut.
Okay.
So that, because there is this other driver that is also not concerned about the road signs that have to now traffic gate just when he comes in front of you. And then you're applying your brake because you now realize that, what's wrong with this person? Now, you didn't get that when you were just driving within the neighborhood. It doesn't happen. So there are certain things that happens not because you are wrong, but because it is what it is. It is life.
What it is.
It is what it is. So if you do not understand that, you would begin to hate yourself. You will say everything was fine until I came on this stuff. Sometimes it's even relationships. Sometimes it is a job. Sometimes it is promotion. It's not that you are fought by the people around you. It's that the seat has a level of demands or pressure that it comes with. And because it's your first 2 weeks or 3 weeks into it, don't expect that everything will just be rosy as what you have been used to. So most times what people do is that they forfeit where they're going to because of somehow some kind of, this is where I've been used to, this is what I'm used to. You're forfeiting what is next because you're used to something that is familiar. So what is unfamiliar, you begin to fight it. You're fighting something that is unknown because you want to still go back to what is friendly to you. And sometimes this pressure we're talking about does not come to help you. It comes to build you. It doesn't come to familiarize with you. It does not know you. It doesn't even know it's you. Because some of the things that you've overcome before now, if like a baby that's trying to walk, keeps falling over, and somebody comes and say, why is your baby not always, always falling? What's wrong? Only for you to tell them, oh, this baby is just 8 months, or this baby is just 9 months. Okay. I didn't see, but the baby looks big. Now, that's for somebody who is not in the process. And that's what happens. You cannot control how people act towards you, but you can control how you interpret their actions towards you. You are the one making the moves. You are the one knowing where you came from. Somebody can judge you and say up till now, but you know that it had taken you like 3 years to get to this point. So it's not an up till now case. You know your journey, you know how far you're going, and then you know what it is. It's like somebody planting coconut and cocoyam. They are the same cocoa. One is not, the other one is yam. So I'm harvesting my coconut. No, am I harvesting my coconut before? No, I'm harvesting cocoyam first. So I've gone like 5 times, gone to the market, come back, harvested again, gone. And then this guy that planted coconut is still waiting for it to shoot up, get to that point of harvest and fruiting stage. And then I'm now like, why is it that mine is taking time? Mine is taking time not because I planted it at the wrong soil, but because it takes about at least 3 years or 2 years.
For a coconut? For
coconut, if I'm sure. Thereabout. I didn't check that.
Be sure.
I didn't check that.
All right.
So, but then it takes a longer time
than cocoyam.
For coconut to, start fruiting.
Yeah.
Unlike cocoyam. But the good thing is that the time that it takes for coconut to start fruiting is going to be a payback, because when your cocoyam is already dreaded and completely taken, exhausted, the coconut still stands the test of time for many years. You don't have to water it, so when you're now trying to plant another one, I already have a tree standing. So most times the pressure is like, when people look at their situations, they compare it with a situation that is not even looking like what theirs are. It's a situation. I planted coconut, so I'm not in a hurry for it to fruit. You planted cocoyam, you're in a hurry. In fact, I should be worried for you if your cocoyam is taking as much time as my coconut. So you see that sometimes what we don't see is that we always think that pressure, we think that growth, because most times this pressure comes with growth. We think that growth should work naturally. You should be going up and forward. That's
without
what we think
hindrances.
Growth, that's what we think growth should be. But see, there are levels of growth that are inwards. There are levels of growth that starts with grounding.
Character.
Yes. So most times you're modified with roots. A seed does not start growing up, it starts growing down. You see? So most times, if you don't understand that these things are making you better, the pressure is going to make you better, you're going to have a better understanding of certain things. I always tell people that when you have to go back to what you've been through before, is for emphasis, it's not punishment. It's just so you know the way better. So it's not like you're being punished. It's your perception that tells you that when things go wrong, you are wrong. Something is not right. I came too early. I would have done this later and all that. So most times it is you looking inwards. That's the first strategy to managing pressure.
Understanding the situation.
Yes. What is your situation? Where are you? What are you comparing? Because most times, again, I keep saying most times, people compare themselves with other people that are not competent in the level of what they're dealing with. You're comparing yourself with something that does not even look like you. You have no business doing that. All because you want to fruit just like the other person is fruiting.
And it's different plants.
Listen to me. Sorry,
Very
I'm not saying you now.
Yeah.
Now, here is the case. Something just dropped in my mind and I'm like, wow. Here is a family of 6 and this is another family of 2. The same company, they're working in the same company. One person looks like he has a lot of money to go and spend in, eateries and all that. And the other person does not have all the luxury because, of course, he has about 4 more children to deal with and cater for. And when you sit down as a wife, I'm saying this carefully now, and then you begin to compare Ugochukwu with Somtochukwu, or Tola with Ayo, and say, look at Ayo always takes his children out and then they spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Understand that Ayo only has 2 kids. The pressure of running or raising 4 more kids would not allow us the luxury of going the same way these people are going.
Yeah.
So these are some of the little things that when you look at it carefully and you understand it, you realize that you sow your seeds early and then you begin to pray that your harvest begins to come. So when the harvest of 6 begins to come, the person who is having 2 want to also have the same level of harvest.
Yeah.
These 2 children, why are you people not working hard? You look at your mates. But you see, when the other person was going through the process, you were in the mall, you were enjoying, you were buying bags, you were eating pizza and all that. But now it's the flip side now. This person had to delay his own gratification. So it's an inward look. You have to first of all start with looking inwards.
And I totally agree with that. That's why it's Bright Young. Look inwards. And now the second thing I think you should do, second strategy for managing pressure would be to condition your atmosphere.
Yes.
Atmospheric conditioning. A lot of us, let's not speak big English. Set the tone for your atmosphere.
Set the tone.
Literally.
Set the tone.
I remember a few years back, I used to have this roommate there. We used to stay together. Okay. Now, how does someone wake up in the morning and start to complain about the things that they don't already have? It's like someone just, I'm not joking. Straight from the bed, the person is up in the morning and she goes, oh, look at my mate. They're working in these companies. Can you imagine this morning now? I'll have to be thinking about what to eat. Some of my mates are married. They have cooks. They have da. And every day, I just keep psyching myself. That's not what you want to hear. That's not what you want to hear. But let me tell you, it's a matter of time before you join in that.
Yes.
Keep complaining about these things.
Yes.
A lot of us infiltrate our environment with the things that we don't need. Atmospheric condition is very important. So I had to bring the person that I say, see, this is not how my home is. My peace, you know. I want to experience peace here, and when I get here, I just want to strategize. Even I don't want to think about the things I don't have. I already have some things, and those things I already have, they are tools. What can I do with these tools to get where I? But you're complaining every day. You're not going out to do anything. You're not walking towards anything, but you keep complaining. It means that the cycle will most likely continue 2 to 3 years after, because you are just complaining and you're not taking action. So I tell people that if you pressurize me, I will run. Before we started having this conversation, if you start pressurizing, see, it's good to push your friends. It's good to encourage them. That's different. But when you start telling them that, do you know your mates are doing these things? Do you know that you're supposed to be doing these things? I don't know why you're still here. It's different. When you pressurize them. Some people don't know how to deal with pressure, and so they go on and interpret it a certain kind of way that causes them some level of pain or destruction whatsoever.
Emotional derail.
Yes. So something you want to do also, one of the strategies for managing pressure is conditioning your environment. Now, you see, and this is a very timely conversation because the festivities or the festive period is here.
It's almost here.
Yes, the Salah, and then.
Oh yes, right.
Yes, and I've heard a couple of people passively. They're not talking to me. I mean, they're just having their conversation. Oh, Salah is coming, and ram is expensive. And I was sharing here this morning that's the first time I will hear how much a ram can cost. Everything in my mind is like, this is a goat. This is the price of a goat. So a ram and a goat and a sheep, they should all be in the same category. And when I heard that can cost for as much as 500 to 700,000, and I'm like, you don't mean it, really? Really? So you see these people under pressure saying, Salah is coming. If we don't buy a ram now, people will think that. People will think whatever they want to think.
Yes, they keep thinking.
You can even have that ram and someone thinks that you're still suffering.
Or have a ram and somebody thinks it's a small ram.
It's a small ram.
Why is the ram not too big?
So why is
the sheep not too white?
So what I do for myself in situations like this, Shebi Salah is coming. I'm going to be among my Muslim brothers and sisters who want to buy a ram, and I don't have money for ram. I won't run away. But the moment you start to rub it in and make me feel like I'm less of a person because I cannot afford a ram, I will excuse you. It means my time there is up.
Yeah.
So you factor in the places you are, the people you let into your space, the people you listen to, and the people you receive counsel from.
That's right.
If you're able to manage this, trust me, you can manage pressure of any kind.
That's beautiful. Like she says, the people you listen to, the things that actually come to you and come to your head that you now meditate on. You see, the good thing about communication is that at the end of the day, we all go back to meditating on them. Here, she says mental conditioning. Now, mental conditioning, also atmospheric conditioning. Very important, because sometimes it's not even what you were thinking, it's what you allowed into your mind, what you allowed to invade you. And they began to distort what was already set in your heart. Some of these things that you see, somebody was planning to buy a car of maybe 300,000. But because you just saw somebody zoom off with a car of 2.2, you're like, let me go and get that one instead. And you know that if you get that one, you may not be able to manage it effectively, but you want to get it anyway because that's what people are now using. I think one of the things we need to understand, like Shia said, is to set the tone for your atmosphere. Just try to be in control. Don't allow things that are not necessary. How do you even know what is necessary to you if you don't know where you're going to? Because sometimes I see that people know exactly, they have an idea of what they want, but they don't know exactly what it looks like. This is what it looks like, but I don't know exactly what it is. So most of them, they would always allow people to say things that they have been meaning to say to themselves. So when somebody begins to say it, you start paying attention, like, this is exactly what I've been waiting for somebody to say. And you know that is an unkind thing to yourself. Before you know, you're off the radar. Before you know, you're about to, quit on something that
you are depressed.
Yeah, you're depressed. You're already about to quit on something that was actually going fine in its time. You see, they said all things get beautiful in its time. The moment things don't start getting beautiful in their time is because somebody is shaking the tree to produce something that it's not yet its time to produce. It gets better. When you go to mango trees, maybe 6 months ago, you may not be able to find the mango. But now you see that it's easy to be littered around because it is its time. Sometimes even a little touch will make it fall. So we all need to have that understanding that, hey, let me allow my mind to breathe. Let me allow my mind to breathe. Because sometimes what you see is not what it is.
Exactly.
What you're seeing is not what it is. It's not like it's not coming to you, but it's that you want it to come before it's time for you. And again, we do not also understand that while the seed is growing under, it is developing roots to be able to carry the tree. We do not understand that the level of what you are building would really need a very strong foundation.
Exactly.
And the foundation process or the foundation period is not for everybody's opinion, commentary and all that. That's why most times when people are about to build, they get to seal off the site. In my own, fine observation, I see that the whole place is sealed off. Because there are people who want to say, why would you put this in here? Put it there. The other people are putting their own there. Put your own there. And before you know, you're like, okay, let's put it. Somebody else come and say, why? Who said you should put this in there? Put it there. Put it there. And imagine if that's a relationship you're building.
Too many hands.
Too many cooks. Hands spoils the food. Yes. Too many hands.
Too many cooks and too many hands spoils the broth.
Yeah. So imagine if that's a relationship you're building and everybody has something to say about it. You would kill it before it grows up. And they are having a say not on the fruit but on the foundation. Before you know it, you have different things going on in the foundation. And when their foundation is attacked, you can be sure that there are many ways to predict the outcome. The outcome of it.
So just so we have our thoughts coordinated.
All right then.
The first strategy Bright mentioned to
look inwards. Strategy number 1 is looking inwards, and then she mentioned the other one is atmospheric condition. Yes, you have to set your environment.
So give us the third one because our time is
would be Get honest feedbacks. Get
Honest.
feedback.
Honest. That's what they said.
Honest feedback.
And before you expand that,
Yes.
you don't get feedbacks from everybody.
Get honest feedback. Honest feedback in the sense that for you to meet people and discuss with them, they must have. I always tell people to never find faith outside conflict. If you're going to look for faith, you're not going to find it in places where there are no conflicts. Conflicts would help you build faith. Don't meet people who have never been through anything and ask them for your way around going through what you're going through.
Yeah.
They will judge you wrongly. And don't meet people who have been defeated by what they've been through, and asking them your way around. They'll share their experiences. In fact, they'll share their defeat with you. Now, you need someone who has gotten a very good size of failure and have also gotten a very good size of overcoming the same failure to speak to you and tell you that you too will overcome. A woman who is pregnant and eventually delivers can speak to a woman who is just 3 months pregnant, saying that she feels weird at night. I said, don't worry,
You're going to be okay.
you're going to be okay, but this is not a problem. But let me tell you, there is also a 6 months experience, because when you get to 6 months, it's going to increase. And that's not to scare you, but that's also to tell you that after 6 months, in the next 3 months, you'll delivered of the baby. You'll be delivered of the baby. So all these stages of feelings, they call it trimesters and all that, semesters.
Really semester. Okay.
All these stages of feelings are also part of the package. Because we run away from trouble and we interpret trouble as trouble, because we do not know that when you sign up for certain things, there are certain troubles you signed up for as well. There are certain troubles that make you responsible. All right. The reasons why we all go out to do our normal day, what you call business day activities, is that you're actually looking for trouble. The only problem is, the only good thing about it is that you're looking for problems you can solve.
Yeah.
The reason some people are listening to us, we're solving the problem of maybe silence, or problems of I need to hear something intellectually sound and all that. But everybody that you're seeing going out is going to look for a problem that he can solve. So imagine that that's the world we're living in. To the degree that you have to solve a problem is the degree that you're actually living well and you're relevant.
Yeah.
As long as you're not solving a problem, you may be creating one. All right. Now, the honest feedback would mean that you're speaking with somebody who is solving a problem, or who has solved the problem that you're trying to get into.
Yeah.
So when people say that, oh, are you getting married? Oh, welcome to another level of problems.
Wow.
And you're like, my God,
have I gotten
I don't want
myself into?
this thing. What did I even get myself into? Who told me? Why did I? But the good thing is, these problems can be solved. You get a new promotion, they say, oh, good. Look at the president. Everybody wants to, have somebody in their life or in their family get to that point. But you see, the problem with being a president is that you have so many enemies than you have friends. Your friends are few. And who wants to be in that kind of situation? The glamour is good, but the position attracts enemies, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So imagine the kind of problem somebody went and got himself into. You see now. So these are some of the things that we need to understand. When you're getting honest feedback, understand that they should be coming from people that have been experienced in coming out of things. Not just people who are experienced in telling you how big the problem is. Now wow, this thing is this thing big, oh my God, wow,
Can you make it?
Damn, this is too big. This is not what you need. An honest feedback will tell you where you got it right and where you got it wrong. That will lead us to the last point, if I have one more.
Quickly.
So yes, of course.
Time is gone.
Yeah. So when you get your honest feedback, please do the corrections, do the needful.
Effect.
Yes, that will help you. Do the needful. If they're telling you that you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough knowledge, what is the needful? How do I get enough? Or how do I get more than enough?
Yeah.
They tell you that most times you are not always on time.
Yeah.
That is not pressurizing you to be early. It's trying to help you know that this thing you're doing right now is not correct.
If that pressure is a good pressure, they should pressurize you.
So you know what? You just have to work it out. So it's workable, because there are people who are living on the other side telling you that we overcame. So you need to look at what did they do to get to this point. If I do the same, I will get to my expected end.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you so much, Brian, for giving us that 2 cent amazing conversation here. And I just want to put it out there that pressure in itself is not a bad thing entirely. Pressure is not a bad thing. It's the kind of pressure that makes it bad or good, and your interpretation of that pressure. So yes, one of the 4 strategies for managing pressure would be 1.
You want me to go over it again?
One, just mention them. So
look inwards.
Look inwards.
Yeah, set your atmospheric tones.
Yeah.
And the third one was what?
Feedbacks, get honest feedbacks, and then
the last one is do the needful.
Do the needful. So thank you so much. I hope that someone learned a thing or two. I hope this blessed someone as much as he blessed me. Thank you again. The final hour, no gray areas, and oh boy, I am supposed to have a couple of guests in that hour, and I'm hoping that they'll